You have to grind. There is no shortcut around it, no hidden path that bypasses effort. You can wish for success, you can dream about it, and you can even pray for it, but at some point, every single person reaches the same truth. Nothing changes until you go to work. Success is not something that randomly appears, and it is not something gifted by luck or magic. It is built through consistent hard work, discipline, and repetition of effort even when it feels ordinary and unimportant. Most people struggle with this reality because it removes comfort from the equation. They want results without effort, achievement without struggle, and reward without responsibility. But life does not operate on desire, it operates on action. There is a question life keeps asking everyone, directly or indirectly: how badly do you want this? And the answer is never found in what you say out loud, it is always found in what you actually do when no one is watching. That answer is revealed in early mornings when you choose to wake up instead of staying in bed. It is revealed in late nights when you continue working while others have already stopped. It is revealed in the sacrifices that no one applauds and no one even notices. These small unseen decisions are where success quietly begins to take shape. Because in reality, success is not built in big moments, it is built in repeated small efforts that accumulate over time. Grinding is often misunderstood as punishment, but in truth, it is preparation. Every hour you invest in improving yourself is not random effort, it is training for opportunities that have not arrived yet. The skills you develop, the knowledge you gain, and the discipline you practice are all shaping a version of you that is capable of handling more responsibility in the future. Nothing you do in that process is wasted, even if it feels slow in the moment. The world rewards value, not intention. The marketplace does not respond to wishes or excuses, it responds to what you can offer and how useful you have become. The more valuable you are, the more opportunities naturally begin to appear. This is why personal development is not optional, it is the foundation of everything else. If you grow, your results grow with you. If you stay the same, your life stays the same. There will always be days when motivation disappears completely. Days when your energy is low, your focus is weak, and progress feels invisible. These are the exact moments that decide everything. Because anyone can work when they feel inspired, but very few people can continue when they don't feel like it. The real separation between average effort and exceptional results is built in those silent moments of discipline when quitting would be easier. True success is not a single achievement, it is a long process built over time. And every process demands patience, consistency, and emotional control. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they underestimate time. They expect quick results and lose interest when growth feels slow. But real growth is rarely visible in the beginning. It only becomes obvious after enough time has passed for the effort to compound. This is why so many people give up just before things begin to change. They stop grinding right before momentum starts building. They abandon their efforts before their actions have enough time to produce results. Success often does not fail them, they fail the process by quitting too early. And that is where the difference is made between those who achieve and those who remain stuck. So the foundation is simple but powerful. If you want a different life, you cannot rely on different wishes, you need different discipline. You have to show up repeatedly, even when it is inconvenient. You have to keep building, even when results are not visible. Because the future does not belong to those who hope for it, it belongs to those who work for it every single day without exception. Success always comes with a cost, even when people refuse to acknowledge it. Every achievement, every skill, every level you admire in someone else's life carries a price tag that had to be paid in time, effort, and sacrifice. The real difference is not whether a price exists, but whether a person is willing to pay it or not. Most people admire the outcome but avoid the process that creates it. A common pattern in life is that many people want the reward, but very few are willing to accept the responsibility that comes with it. They want success to feel easy, comfortable, and immediate, but anything meaningful requires investment. And the uncomfortable truth is that success does not adjust itself to your comfort level, you have to adjust yourself to what success demands. Instead of wishing for an easier journey, the better approach is to become a stronger version of yourself. Because life rarely becomes easier on its own. Challenges do not disappear simply because you want them to. Problems do not move aside just because you feel unprepared. The real question is whether you are developing enough strength, discipline, and awareness to face what comes your way. Nature itself reflects this principle clearly. Before any harvest, there is planting. Before reward, there is labor. Before victory, there is preparation. Nothing in life breaks this sequence. It applies universally, regardless of background, talent, or status. Everyone participates in the same process, whether they accept it or not. The only difference is how consciously they engage with it. This is where life separates people into two paths. One group chooses to pay the price early, through discipline, effort, and delayed comfort. The other group chooses immediate comfort and ends up paying later through stress, missed opportunities, and regret. The timing of payment changes the experience completely, but the cost itself never disappears. You can see this principle in everyday life. A student who studies while others relax is paying the price now. An entrepreneur who works while others rest is investing early effort. An athlete who trains while others make excuses is building future success through present discipline. Each of them understands a simple truth: discipline feels heavy in the moment, but regret feels heavier in the long run. There is a powerful lesson hidden in this contrast. The pain of discipline is measured in small amounts, but the pain of regret is much heavier and long-lasting. Avoiding effort may feel easier today, but it creates consequences that are far more difficult to carry later. This is why disciplined effort is not just a habit, it is a protection against future regret. At one point in my life, I also wanted things to improve quickly. I wanted better income, more opportunities, and a stronger future. But I had to face a direct question from someone who guided me. Was I actually willing to pay the price for it? Not just financially, but personally. Was I willing to change my habits, improve my thinking, and become more capable than I was at that moment? That question changes everything, because success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by who you become. If you increase your value, opportunities naturally begin to respond to you. But increasing your value requires consistent effort, not occasional motivation. It requires showing up even when it is uncomfortable. Many people say they want success, but their actions change when effort is required. The moment early mornings, late nights, or consistent discipline appear, the excitement fades. The dream suddenly feels heavy because now it demands action instead of imagination. And this is where most people step back instead of stepping forward. What many fail to realize is that the real cost is not success itself. The real cost is wasted potential. It is the life you could have built but didn't. It is the version of yourself that never fully developed. It is reaching the end of life and wondering what could have happened if you had given your best effort. That is the most expensive outcome of all. There is a simple truth: if you avoid discomfort, you will naturally settle into mediocrity. Ordinary outcomes are often the result of avoiding responsibility, avoiding discipline, and avoiding growth. But if you are willing to step into discomfort, you open the door to something greater than average results. This does not mean you should make life miserable or constantly punish yourself. Instead, it means you should see effort as investment. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every hour you spend improving yourself is a deposit into your future. These deposits may not show immediate returns, but over time they compound into something powerful. Eventually, the results become visible. People begin to notice your success and may call it luck, but they rarely see the years of preparation behind it. They don't see the sacrifices, the consistency, or the patience required to reach that level. They only see the outcome, not the process that built it. The marketplace rewards value, not appearance. And value is developed over time through effort and discipline. That is why personal growth matters more than external conditions. When you increase your value, your results naturally begin to rise, not because life is unfair or biased, but because value always attracts reward. So the real question becomes simple but serious. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to do what others avoid? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort today for opportunity tomorrow? Because success is not hidden from anyone, it is available to everyone, but it always comes with a cost that must be accepted first. The grind is not just about reaching success, it is about who you become while trying to reach it. Many people misunderstand effort as a form of punishment, something they have to endure until they finally make it. But in reality, the grind is shaping you at every step, building qualities inside you that comfort alone can never develop. It is not just a path towards success, it is the process that creates the person capable of handling success. Success is built on simple disciplines repeated daily, and those disciplines are formed in the grind. They are not developed during easy moments or when everything is going smoothly. They are formed under pressure, during struggle, and through repetition when there is no immediate reward. This is why the grind matters. It is the environment where real transformation takes place. Character is never revealed in comfort. When everything is easy, almost anyone can appear strong, disciplined, and motivated. But when difficulty enters, when pressure increases, and when results are slow, that is when true character becomes visible. The grind exposes habits, reveals excuses, and shows clearly who is consistent and who is not. A powerful question to reflect on is this: what do you become when no one is watching? Not the version you show to the world, but the version you build in silence. Because real identity is not created in public moments, it is built in private decisions. The choices you make when no one is there define the direction of your life far more than any public achievement. Every difficult day is doing something to you, even if you cannot immediately see it. Each time you push through tiredness, complete tasks when you feel drained, or choose discipline over comfort, you are building internal strength. That strength is not always visible at first, but it accumulates quietly over time, shaping your mindset and your resilience. The grind does not only build external success, it builds internal identity. And identity is what determines whether success can last. Without character, achievements become unstable. But when discipline and character are strong, success becomes sustainable. This is why the process matters more than the outcome alone. Struggle is often viewed negatively, but in reality, it is a training ground. Problems are not signs that something is wrong, they are part of the process of growth. Avoiding problems does not remove them, it only delays your development. And as you grow, the nature of your problems will also change, becoming more complex, but your ability to handle them will increase as well. This is how progress actually works. It is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to deal with better challenges over time. Growth means your capacity increases, not that difficulty disappears. The grind ensures that you are prepared for higher levels of responsibility by gradually strengthening your mindset and discipline. One of the most important lessons the grind teaches is patience. Real results do not happen instantly. Progress often feels slow, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening at all. But that is exactly where most people quit, not because they cannot succeed, but because they cannot wait long enough to see results. Those who stay consistent through these slow phases begin to develop something powerful: stability under pressure. They become steady in situations where others panic. They become reliable when things are uncertain. This is not natural talent, it is the result of long-term discipline built through repetition and persistence. Comfort, on the other hand, creates weakness over time. When everything is easy, effort decreases, discipline fades, and growth slows down. The grind does the opposite. It pushes you to act, even when you do not feel like it. It forces you to build habits of consistency instead of habits of delay. And those habits eventually shape your entire life direction. Discipline is not a single action, it is a pattern of repeated behavior. It is showing up when motivation is missing, continuing when results are invisible, and staying committed when there is no external reward. That is where real strength is built, not in moments of excitement, but in moments of responsibility. The grind will test every part of you. It will challenge your patience, your focus, and your commitment. And in those moments of testing, something important happens. You discover who you are becoming. Not who you think you are, but who your actions are shaping you into. And the most important truth is this: you are not just working toward success, you are being shaped by the process of working toward it. Every struggle builds resilience, every effort builds strength, and every challenge builds identity in ways that are slow but permanent. So instead of avoiding the grind, respect it. Because what feels difficult today is often what builds your strongest foundation for tomorrow. One day, you will look back and realize that the very process you once wanted to escape was the same process that created your strength. The grind builds character, and character builds everything else that follows. Success is often assumed to be loud, visible, and dramatic, but in reality, it is usually quiet and consistent. It does not depend on attention or recognition. Instead, it grows in silence, through small actions repeated every single day. Real success is not built on big announcements or temporary motivation, but on steady discipline that continues even when nobody is watching. Most people spend too much time talking about what they want to achieve. They speak about dreams, plans, and future goals, but talking alone does not create progress. Words may express intention, but they do not build results. Only action has the power to transform ideas into reality. Without action, even the best plans remain empty. Alongside talking, many people fall into the habit of complaining. When work feels difficult, they complain. When progress feels slow, they complain. When circumstances are uncomfortable, they complain. But complaining does not improve anything. It only drains energy, weakens focus, and keeps a person stuck in the same position. A powerful shift happens when complaints are replaced with action. Instead of reacting with frustration, choosing to do something, no matter how small, changes momentum. Action breaks patterns of delay and creates movement. Even a small step forward has the power to change direction over time. This is where real progress begins. When action becomes a habit, confidence starts to build naturally. Every time you take a step instead of complaining, you prove something to yourself, that you are capable of moving forward. That belief grows stronger with repetition, slowly replacing doubt with certainty. Complaints, on the other hand, create the opposite effect. They build a mindset of limitation. The more a person complains, the more powerless they feel. Over time, this becomes a pattern where excuses replace effort, and delay replaces progress. This cycle is dangerous because it feels comfortable but leads nowhere meaningful. The alternative is simple but powerful: act instead of complain. Replace excuses with effort, and replace hesitation with movement. Action changes everything because it shifts focus from problems to solutions. Even small consistent actions create momentum, and momentum naturally builds confidence and progress. It is worth asking yourself an honest question. How many opportunities have been lost simply because of hesitation or complaint? How many chances were delayed while waiting for better conditions? The truth is that most missed opportunities are not caused by lack of ability, but by lack of action. Your future is not shaped by what you complain about, it is shaped by what you consistently do. Every action you take today is building the version of yourself you will become tomorrow. This is why discipline matters so much. It is not about perfection, it is about consistency and effort. A powerful principle to follow is to work quietly. Build your progress in silence without needing validation or approval. When you remove the need for attention, your focus becomes stronger. You are no longer distracted by opinions or comparisons. You are simply focused on improvement. Silent effort creates clarity. It allows you to concentrate fully on your work without external pressure. There is no need to prove anything to others when you are focused on becoming better than you were yesterday. This mindset removes distractions and increases productivity. As you continue working quietly, growth becomes natural. You improve without announcing it. You build without showing it. And over time, the results begin to speak for themselves. This is the kind of success that lasts because it is built on discipline, not recognition. In contrast, people who rely on talking more than working often stay in the same place. Talking creates an illusion of progress, but without action, nothing changes. Real transformation requires effort, repetition, and patience, not just ideas. Every time you choose action over complaint, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you continue working when it feels difficult, you build resilience. And every time you stay focused in silence, you increase your ability to grow without distraction. The truth is simple. The people who change their lives are not the ones who complain the least, but the ones who act the most. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They do not depend on motivation. They simply decide to keep moving forward. And over time, that steady movement creates a completely different life. Not because everything became easier, but because they chose to respond differently. They replaced noise with effort, and hesitation with action. That is how real transformation happens, quietly, consistently, and through daily discipline that never seeks attention. One of the most overlooked truths about success is that talent is common, but consistency is rare. Many people start with natural ability, strong potential, or early advantages, but very few continue long enough for that potential to turn into real results. In the long run, it is not talent that separates people, it is consistency. Success is built through simple disciplines repeated every day. Not occasionally, not when motivation appears, but as a steady routine that continues regardless of mood or circumstance. This is where real achievement is formed, in the quiet repetition of actions that seem small in the moment but powerful over time. Talent often creates early attention. People notice it, admire it, and sometimes even expect great things from it. But talent without consistency fades quickly. Without daily effort, even strong potential loses direction. It may start well, but it does not continue far enough to create lasting impact. Consistency is different. It does not rely on excitement or inspiration. It does not depend on perfect conditions or emotional energy. It simply relies on showing up again and again. That repetition is what builds real progress, even if it looks slow at the beginning. A key question to consider is this: who improves more over time, the highly talented person who works occasionally, or the average person who shows up every single day? The answer becomes clear when you understand how growth actually works. Consistent effort always wins in the long run because it compounds. Small actions repeated daily do not look powerful at first. Reading a little each day, practicing a skill consistently, or maintaining discipline in small habits may seem insignificant. But over time, these small efforts accumulate and transform into major results. Progress is often invisible until it suddenly becomes undeniable. This is the principle behind long-term success. We become what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not a one-time action. It is a habit formed through repetition. And habits are built through consistency, not intensity. Short bursts of effort may create temporary progress, but only consistency creates lasting transformation. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they stop. They start with enthusiasm but cannot maintain the process. They lose motivation and allow inconsistency to break their momentum. Once momentum is lost, everything becomes harder, and progress slows down significantly. On the other hand, consistency builds momentum. And momentum makes everything easier. When you continue taking action daily, even small steps begin to feel powerful. Over time, progress accelerates because the effort is no longer starting from zero, it is building on what already exists. There will always be difficult days. Days when energy is low, motivation is missing, and progress feels invisible. These are the moments that test consistency the most. Many people quit here, not because they are incapable, but because they are impatient. They want fast results without understanding the time required for real growth. But success does not respond to speed, it responds to repetition. Time rewards consistency, not shortcuts. The people who continue showing up during slow phases are the ones who eventually experience transformation. They understand that growth is not always visible, but it is always happening beneath the surface. Discipline acts as the bridge between goals and achievement. Without discipline, goals remain ideas. With discipline, those ideas turn into reality. And consistency is what keeps that bridge strong. Every day you follow through on your commitments, you reinforce that structure. It is important to reflect on what would happen if you stayed consistent for an entire year. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but steadily. Most people underestimate how powerful that would be. Because even imperfect consistency over time leads to major change in identity, skills, and results. Small actions, when repeated daily, eventually become part of who you are. And identity is what shapes destiny. This is why consistency is more powerful than talent. It builds identity, while talent alone does not guarantee growth or direction. Talent may give an early advantage, but consistency wins the long race every single time. Life ultimately rewards those who can be trusted to keep going, even when it is difficult. Those who stay committed when others stop are the ones who eventually rise above average results. So the truth is simple but powerful. Consistency always beats talent. And if you stay consistent long enough, you eventually become the person others once called talented. Not because of shortcuts, but because of discipline repeated over time. Success does not go to those who wish for it, talk about it, or dream about it without action. It goes to those who quietly grind, consistently show up, and patiently continue the process until results appear. The grind is nothing more than discipline repeated daily until it becomes identity, and that identity is what eventually creates success. Many people begin the journey, but only a few continue long enough to reach the outcome. The difference is not ability, it is endurance. In the end, success is not awarded at the beginning or in the middle of the journey. It is only revealed at the end. And only those who remain consistent long enough ever reach that stage. The reward belongs to those who refuse to stop. So the final truth is this: keep grinding quietly, keep showing up consistently, and keep building patiently. Because the people who change their lives are not the ones who start the strongest, but the ones who refuse to stop until the end.